one is the same times in our lives. We've all been down, pushed too much around, learning to move along. So, I come from middle class family, mom, dad, 2 brothers. It's chilly out here. And born in 1964. And I am now 57. And I've come to terms multiple times in my life with my childhood trauma and how it's affected me as an adult. In and out of counseling, a lot of outpatient therapy and medication, and life coping skills that have helped me a lot. But yeah, I used to feel broken. I don't feel broken anymore. But I still deal with the struggle, the daily struggle, that some days is not an issue and some days it's more intense. But childhood trauma affects you for your entire life. And I have both my parents to thank for that. And you know, I don't hate them. I've learned to come to terms. But I decided to start this vlog after being on this planet for 57 years of how it has permanent damage, a lot of negative struggles and suffering for your entire life when you're traumatized as a child, whether it's sexually or through verbal, physical, mental, psychological. It's all, you know, some are worse than others. I'm not saying that, but I personally was never sexually abused, but I lived in a household where it felt like I lived in a landmine, and I never knew when I would step on a landmine in my own home. That's pretty much how it felt, because I was so introverted and so shy from all the trauma of my violent, very violent, hot-tempered father, and a mother who lacked empathy and never did a fucking thing, never got involved with stopping it, never had the courage to leave. And she and my dad, yeah, they had some pretty wicked fights and arguments, but the only time, not that it's okay, but the only time he physically was physical with my mom with his violence is because, not that it was appropriate and not that she deserved it, but oh my God, it was like she knew he was pissed off about whatever it was, and instead of her just backing off, they were like 2 kids, the way they behaved, very immature, and my mom would just keep feeding gas on that fire till it exploded. And my dad would usually punch the wall. We had holes in our drywall throughout the house, and broken doors off the hinges, shit like that. And then he would usually grab her by her arms, upper arms, shoulders, and, you know, just get a hold of her and just, he never hit her, and he never like threw her into anything, but he would just get a hold of her, like, you know, like, just stop. And So she was really notorious for making things worse. I'm not saying my mom had to cower to my dad and just because they had a dispute or disagreement that she had to just say he was right and she was wrong to shut him up. I'm not saying that. It's just, my God, my mom was a big part of the problem if she had made things worse. But my brothers and me, especially my older brother and I, we got the wrath of my dad. He took it out on us. He took out his aggravation on us. He's just a very angry man. He grew up in the 50s, and he grew up in a violent household with an alcoholic father and a very mentally ill mother who wouldn't be able to protect him because she didn't have the capacity mentally, and she was also beaten by his dad. So I know where it all came from, but I didn't know it till I was a little older. But again, it doesn't make any of it right. So yeah, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So when you grow up in a household with violence and severe verbal abuse, he was pretty aggressive and notorious for that. You live scared in your own home every frickin' minute of every day. So when things are good and you're enjoying yourself and there's a calm and you're just being a kid, you know, you let your guard down and you're in the moment. But when he was around or he came home from work, you know, everything shifted and you knew to be careful about what you said and how you acted and what you did. And he still would, my dad would just get pissed off over nothing, over bullshit, and just take it out on us kids, especially me and my older brother. My younger brother, he was subjected to hearing and seeing the abuse, which is very bad, very toxic, I'm not saying. But he escaped the violence of my dad. Me and my older brother and I had it a lot worse, especially my older brother. And so, yeah. So I'm starting this channel of mine to share how it affects you the rest of your life. For those of you that know, that have been down this path, that are adults now, of whatever age you are, you get it, you know what I'm saying. But this message is I'm trying to connect with people that have been through this and that are adults now of any age, but also to any young person out there who feels isolated, alone, and scared. You know, we're with you, we're here. You can leave comments, ask questions, or just vent. You know, no judgment. This is a non-judgment, non-drama place. If you don't like it, I don't really give a shit. You can go fuck off. It's raw, and it's real, and it's life. We've all dealt with enough crap. We don't need to be able to come to what we hope is maybe a safe place and hear more of it and get judged more like we did from whoever abused us. So I'm going to continue with lots of videos breaking down segments of my life starting from a young child, and share with you some stories and relate to how it affects me, has affected me throughout my life. I've had multiple nervous breakdowns. I never had to be committed, although there was a time I was highly suicidal. I never went through anything or actually did anything, but I'll tell you what, it took every bit of strength in me that God gave me to fight actually doing anything, because there were, I think, like one time for sure, and it lasted for like a month, where every day I just wanted to in my life because I was in so much pain and hurt so deeply. And this was only like 7 years ago. I've had multiple things happen throughout my life. So that's my point of putting these vlogs together, is getting the point across that whether it's one incident that a child experiences or multiple. So mine was living a lifetime from the day I was born, which obviously I don't remember, but to me being able to remember as young as, I want to say like 4 or 5, remembering stuff. And then living there till I was 18, and then I moved out to go to art college in Philadelphia. So I was brought up in Maryland. I live now in West Virginia, me and my husband. But point is, so that was, 18 years of that bullshit. And it didn't stop there, because even after you move out of the house, you still, visit them, holidays, shit like that, socials with the family, whatever. So you still get subjected to it, because it doesn't stop just because you're older. But as a child, you're defenseless. It's your home. You're there. As an adult, and you're not living there anymore, you can pick and choose how often you interact with your abuser. In this case, be my family. My dad and my mom. So, the best thing though is not letting my trauma stop me from enjoying my life. I've been very active, always getting into a lot of really good positive things. I never got into alcoholism or drug abuse. I did drink and try a lot of different drugs, but it was never an issue of me becoming addicted or being long-term on anything. I'm just an extremely high-functioning PTSD survivor that has learned through a lot of turmoil in my life how to live with PTSD, but not let it define me. And that's the difference. Is knowing that, fuck 'em, man. Misery loves company, and I'm not surrendering to that. That's the best thing you can do to yourself, is not fall into a lot of self-pity and try and figure shit out for, why? Instead, don't fall into the pit of your abuser. And I know moving on is hard as hell. And I'm like, wow, I'm recollecting the past. So, anyhow, I will be doing a lot of these, and this is just my first one. So, my name is Karen Smith, and by the grace of God, love yourself. Be good to yourself in spite of anything that's happened to you. Peace.
We all have pain. Not one is the same times in our lives.